Good morning and welcome to Something Saturday and our Create Along for August. So just quickly before I do that, I thought I might show you the next class that I'm going to be doing on the 19th of September. So although this is not a Create Along, you will get full instructions for it if you decide to purchase it. So there's that one, and there's this really cute little box which you could put all sorts of different things into. And we've got that one, that one, that one. This one's really cool actually. It's got two flap part to it. And this one here, which again, this section here is an interesting way to create that particular section. So if you are interested in that one, it is $40 and I am going to be doing it in my classroom with people, or you can order it as a by mail kit, in which case you would get the full instructions, everything cut and scored for you as per usual and all ready to go. And I don't think you need any, there is one stamp set that goes with it, but you could use something else if you needed to. So that's that. Anyway, let us move on to our Go Tropical August Create Along. If you have ordered the Create Along pack, I would rather hope that you've got it by now, because I know I sent it out a little while ago. And this is what you will get for your instructions with it at the moment. I will have emailed you, I hope, the rest of the instructions. So if you happen to need the paper instructions, they will be in your email box. In your pack, you will have one of these, which has some various bits in it. So you will have somewhat more of these than I have. I've just got the ones that were left. And unfortunately, I discovered after I'd ordered everything that I'd completely forgotten to order anything for myself. So that worked well, not. So I am slightly short on things. You will not be. But there is also some various papers in there. Now, the papers on the whole can stay in, but what you will need out is you'll need these ones out. You'll need your sticker sayings out. I'm afraid mine have holes in them because of the fact that I have, as I say, already used some. And yeah, I think that is all you need out of that. So we'll put the rest of that away. And so your cards will have labels on them. So this is number one. So we're going to start with number one because, you know, number one's a very good place to start. And you will need these pieces for this one. Okay, so I did do a bit of a disclaimer on this, that there is a little bit of fussy cutting involved in it. Let's just tuck my bits of paper out the way there. And it's a very exciting envelope, this. It has a card. It does not have much more than that in it. Well, it has a bit of air, I guess. But, yeah. So what you then need to do is you're actually going to fussy cut out enough of these to cover your card. I haven't pre-done them. So if you find that I cut faster than you do, just stop the video and catch up with me when I get, or when you get to the end of cutting your pieces. And there's a pretty good chance I won't know what to talk about while I'm doing this. Right, I hope that I have now cut enough to be able to do this. So if you're still fussy cutting, I recommend you pause the video at this point and then start it again once you have finished your fussy cutting bits. All right, so we are going to make a decision about this and maybe put this one over onto this side, this one over onto this side. We'll see how we go with that. I started off in the middle with mine, so let's find some adhesive. I'm going to use my stamping seal, and you know the got to get the seal in. Let's just pop that there, and we are just going to go ahead and now kick them all out of order. and just pop it somewhere in the middle. Doesn't actually matter where, because everything else is going to build up around it. So once you're happy with where that one's sitting, then start building up around it. Ironic though, isn't it, that I had it all like lined up in the places that I thought it would look best, and now I'm just moving it around. And you just want a little bit of a gap between them all. I think that I'm going to go like that. So although I've got to the end of all my pieces, I can now start cutting off these and start using them. So we're just gonna trim these off. And if they have glue on them, might be best to actually just stick them down onto your glue mat or something, so they don't end up attached to anything that they maybe shouldn't be attached to, and then you have to try and peel them off where they shouldn't be. Okay, so we've got that far now, and we can then start. In fact, we might, let's see. Oh, it's attached to me. Just go with that, that, and that, and I reckon that should do us. Let's try it out and see. Unfortunately, I cut a bit too much on that one, so I'm going to have to take that little piece off. But that's okay, because we will make it work. No, I wanted it. I was trying to do it so that they're not all having the same line. Oh, drat it. That clearly needs to be slightly further over. And I've gone and stuck it in the same place. Wow, go Heather. No, that looks better. There we go. And then just, again, trim off the excess. And that is the base of your card now. So, whoops, let's just get rid of these bits. I think I will just ditch those actually. If you want to use them for another card, then that's fine. Just keep hold of them somewhere else. I'm not going to do that. So then you want to find something that you would like to say on there. So you could say pretty much any of the sayings in your kit. I've obviously used my hip hip hooray, so I feel like I may go with hello, or I do have hooray. You know what, I'm just gonna punch out all of those. So the cool thing with these is you'll find that they have like a little line on the back of them. That is because that has adhesive on the back of it, so all you need to do is peel it off. But with this particular one, so I think I'm going to go with the hello, because that is possibly the closest. Let me have a little look and see what I've got on the other cards. Yeah, I'm going to stick to the hello. All right, so if you have your pin tool, just use that to lift off this backing for yourself. Otherwise, you can do it with your fingernail if you have a fingernail that's, you know, long enough to do that. Then, because you want to actually put this one up on dimensionals, you just want to pop it onto your skin and get rid of the stickiness on the back of it is pretty much what you're doing there. Because if you add dimensionals onto it, you'd have to then add dimensionals literally all over the back of it so that it doesn't end up sticking down. So I'm just going to grab a couple of my dimensionals now that it's not sticky on the back. And make sure that your card is going to open the way that your saying is going to go onto it. Or actually, you know what, I'm going to put mine up on one of the pink ones, because it doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. So you can put yours up higher or lower or wherever you think it would be best if it went. So that is that, and then you need a little bit of bling. So grab yourself maybe 3 bits of bling. Let's go with one of those. One of those and one of those, just like that. There we go. So that is our first card created. We are going to tuck that away and we're going to move on to the next card, which is this one here. So this one's kind of cool. This is one of the fancy fold cards, and what happens is you have this little mini card on the front of it that tucks into this section here, and then it stands up looking like that. Whoops, I'm just thinking that I may have been out of the frame when I did that. I'm really sorry if I was. So yeah, tucks in behind your flowers and it makes it kind of a cute little card. It's quite sweet. So to do that, everything is in your packet. Like I said, I ran out of certain ingredients for myself, so therefore I have ended up having to improvise for my pack. Your pack is fine, my pack's not. Let's pop my envelope down over there. So I have improvised with my flowers because this was the other thing that I forgot to order for myself. And so you should have your little piece of flowers that look like that. I have, as I say, improvised and stamped a few. Then you should have a piece that looks like this, and a piece that looks like this, and a piece that looks like this, as well as your little mini card. Right, to do this, pop those ones across to one side, grab your little piece that so it's the one that's like that. It might have one of those on the back, and it's up to you, but that's going to get covered up by saying, so I wouldn't if I was you. That was very distinct, wasn't it? So pop a bit of glue onto the back of this one, and this is going to sit directly on top of here. it should cover the entire length of it, but you should have a gap either side. So that's what it should look like. And you decide upon a saying for it. I am gonna I'm gonna go with wishing you were here, because I think that's really funny actually, now that I've got that one. So this one is actually going to, so I'm using my take my pick tool, or take your pick tool, only it's not yours, it's mine. Oh, it's a good job I can make myself laugh. And pop that down onto there. Obviously I have used So Grateful to Have a Friend Like You, which does work with it, as you can see. Hang on a minute, let me just tuck it into there, so we can just about make that one work. I'm going to go with wishing you were here for this one, because I actually think that's really hilarious, and I don't have that saying anymore because I used it on that card. And then these pieces here, isn't it just so pretty, the back of this paper as well? It's really disappointing when they do paper that's got such a beautiful back to it and a front to it. So we are going to pop that directly onto here, and again it has a little bit of a gap, so it's about 2.5mm gap all the way around it, because it gets like cut 5mm short of the actual card itself, hence that's why I know it's a 2.5mm gap. But there you go. And then this one, and this one again has the gap. As they say on the London Underground, mind the gap. Actually, I don't know whether they still say that or not. So then that is onto there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop this on. Now, is this how I did it? Let me find my instructions. In the instructions as well, you will have all the measurements for everything. So if you want to recreate the card, you can do at that point. Attach the tiny card. What do you card art? Yeah. So decide whereabouts your tiny card is going to sit, and add your glue. And potentially, if you were to flap it up and hold it approximately where you are going to want it to sit, bearing in mind that you're not going to want it sitting down too far because the flowers are going to go underneath it. So bring it up a wee bit, measure it to the middle, and popping it down about there. Hopefully it's not too wonky, but even if it is, it's not going to matter because it's still going to tuck in there all right. Then for the back of your flowers, so you're going to have flowers that look like this. On the back of your flowers, you're going to put some mini dimensionals, but you only want to put the dimensionals down the bottom of your flowers. You don't want it up the top because you want to leave room for that to tuck in. So which way up is this one going to go? I think I'm going to go with that as the bottom. And keep looking at it to see whereabouts you think that they should go, because I'm going to add another one into the side there. It does need to stay on the page well, hence the fact I've ended up putting 5 on instead of just, you know, maybe 3, which usually I'm a little more stingy with dimensionals. So then pop that on so that you know that this will tuck in and out of it, and then that's it. That is then your card made. Beautiful. Oh no, it's not. Add some bling. So I may run out of bling before I get to the end of this, but that's okay, because I could potentially find some other bling from somewhere. I think I'm going to go with one of these ones actually. There we go. And I've also added a little bit of bling on the outsides of mine as well. That is that card. And we will move to the next card. So card number 3. Card number 3 is this one. And this is, I'm actually really proud of this card. I didn't see it anywhere else. I just thought, oh, look at that. I could do that. And it literally just sort of like concertinas its way out. So let's bring it out. Bring everything out that's in the envelope. Oh, you will have a piece of window sheeting. Don't lose your window sheeting. Very important. Okay, and you'll have the little sections that go onto here. So you will have 2 of each size. Potentially, you may find that they go together, and you may find they don't, but they should, in theory, somehow go together. 1, 2. It's not that one. Okay, it's that one. So you can actually look at the pattern on it and line the pattern up, and this has to go with this one. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Well, it must. It must, because I know I cut it. Oh yes, look at that, it does. Can be a little bit difficult to see. A little bit more fussy cutting for this one. But let's start off with the background. So you've got a big piece of something that looks a bit watery, or it can look quite pretty on the other side. So if you prefer the other side, feel free to use the other side. And this then sits into here. Now, there is a gap at the top and the bottom of this one, but there isn't much of a gap on the sides. So it should sit in looking a bit like that. Then these pieces at the side here will flap in and out and in and out, so that you end up with it pretty much looking like that. Okay. If you have a bone scorer, you can just make sure that those score down well. If you don't have a bone scorer, but you have a just a nice rounded oh my goodness, what's the name, acrylic block, then you can also use the acrylic block as kind of like a bone scorer, but bone scorers are best. And let's do that one. So I think that I have got those ones done. Got those pieces done. You will have a row of flowers. You will not have a row of flowers that have been stamped, because obviously that is where I didn't succeed, because I forgot about the fact that I needed them. And what you're going to do with your window sheeting is you're going to stick your flowers onto your window sheeting. So let's go with glue this time. No, I'm just going to stick to this, but feel free, as I say, use whatever glue suits you, because I reckon you'll be fine with whatever you want to use with it. And then you stick your flowers directly on top of the window sheeting, so that you do end up, hopefully you can see this, you will end up with excess window sheeting on there. At that point, you then want to cut away the excess. What it's doing is it's stiffening up that flowers for you. And it doesn't have to be precise when you're cutting this away. It just needs to not show too much, because you don't really want, you know, like a rectangle of window sheeting sitting behind your flowers. It's not quite as attractive as just seeing the flowers with maybe a smidgen of window sheeting behind them. Okay, you probably won't want to save the little pieces of window sheeting that you've cut off, just saying. And that, as I say, gives it a nice rigid thingo background. Oh, while you're on the fussy cutting, let's fussy cut out these pieces as well. And you will see from mine that I have not been especially pedantic about doing. I might just actually take a little chunk out of that. But it, as you can see, it doesn't make too much of a difference if you're not really fussy with it. There we go, that's that one cut. I feel like I need to find some music to put on in the background or something. So if you are still fussy cutting, just stop the video at this point so that when you come back, you'll be at the right point. All right, so the next thing to do is then to stick these pieces in place. And that was not very smart. I should have been doing that on my glue mat. There is a gap going all the way around it. And you do want to make sure that your trees have their stems or trunks going downwards rather than going up into the air, because when I made my first one, I was looking at it going, oh, hang on a minute. I may have got that upside down. Okay, so as you do this, the one that's between them here, you don't decorate that. You then move on to this one. And you pop that one in place. So you've got one gap one, and then the other one actually is on the folded over side of this. And because I'm using the stamping seal, I'm just making sure that the edges are not going to have gluey edges to them. Oops. There we go. So that is one side done. And then we move to the other side, and again just make sure that your trees are going to be in the right direction, not upside down. And you fold it so that it's layered on top of the inside of your card, and you put down your first one on that outside piece. Then, as I say, you have a gap. And let me make sure my trunks are the right way up. And you put down your second piece. So you've got the largest one, a gap, then the next size, medium size one, and the baby one. And let's make sure that the trunks are going to be the right way up again. Yep. And if you're struggling to get that one onto the right part, you can always open your card up and put it on. And there it is. So now you should have all three pieces, and it looks like that. Okay. So you then want to find yourself a saying in your collection of sayings. So I am maybe going to go with, oh, what do I fancy going with now? I don't really think sympathy is quite in order. Wonder if an amazing friend would go well with this card, or just the hey there friend. Might just go the hey there friend. And make sure that people are going to be able to see it once the card is open. Hey there friend. I don't think I've got a shorter one left. The ones I've got are all kind of longish, because I know I want to use that one in something else. Or I could use you and mate. No, I think I wanted to use that in something else as well. Yep. Yep, gonna go the hey there friend. And just again using my take your pick tool to grab the backing of that. I'm going to find the middle of my card and aim for what I hope is about the middle. Yep, looks like that will work. I don't feel like I actually managed to get the middle, but that's fine. Right, so then, now which bit did I do next? Hang on. Let me just find my instructions. Did I fussy cut trailer, I did a strip, and then, yep, we are going with putting the strip of flowers on next. So decide which way up you want your flowers, and it's going to attach only onto this section and this section. You don't want it attaching on the ones behind it, because otherwise your card will not come out properly if you do that. So I recommend, rather than, if you have been using the stamping seal, I recommend you now go to the Tombow, because this is the one that's actually going to keep it in place better. And just have a look and see where it's going to end up coming onto there. And apparently I am almost out of Tombow on this. Oh wow. So I can attach one side down, and you kind of do want to attach one side down at a time. Because it just makes it a lot easier. And because it's the window sheeting, it may take a minute or two for it to actually attach down properly. And then I can see now that I need to put my Tombow just there. Now attach that down on the other side. And again, hold it in place for a minute or so. Just gonna get rid of the excess glue from my finger. I find that if I just rub my finger on the palm of my hand, it does actually get rid of the excess glue. And that should then, the cool thing with the window sheeting, it also gives it the option to be able to bend slightly, which it needs to be able to bend very slightly in the middle there. So then you have these two pieces to add in. So this piece is going to sit in behind this, and yours is going to look way better than mine because you have little gaps between your flowers and I sadly don't. But you only want to put a bit of glue sort of down on the bottom of it because it's not going to, and yeah, yours you can probably get away with slightly more than mine, but mine's going to have to be that it sits, actually, mine's going to have to sit more in the middle, I think, because otherwise I lose too much of it. And again, you've got to hold it in place for a little bit because it's attaching to the window sheeting. Then we're going to be adding the balloons. Now you don't want the balloons to come too far out because bear in mind that when it goes into the envelope, it needs to still fit into the envelope. So it can do so if it comes a little bit above it, but if you have it a lot above it, you're going to be struggling to get the envelope to fit. So, and again, you only want to attach it onto this section here and the back of this. So it's going to go on like that. Now, when I did this one, I used dimensionals onto this part here. So, in fact, what I did, where's my dimensionals gone to? Oh, they've gone. There they are. What I did was I actually put a couple of dimensionals straight down onto this because I knew that that was where I wanted my balloons to be able to sit. And then I want to add the back to this somehow, and I don't think I used dimensionals on the back of that. No, I didn't. I used normal glue on the back of that. So just add a wee bit of glue down to the bottom of that, and you can peel off your dimensional backing at the same time if you want to, or you can do it differently. It is up to you how you do it. And popping that down onto there and putting that down onto there, and just hold your card flat for a moment or two. If you think you've put too much glue onto the back of this, then don't hold it down too hard. Just hold it between your fingers like that, because otherwise if the glue squeezes out, you're going to end up with this stuck to the back of your card, which is probably not going to be a good look. Just saying. Okay. So then that is that, and that should still sit inside. The reason this one is more upright is because because I had those flowers, I was able to have it more to the side, whereas this one, because I have these flowers and I wanted it to sort of not be quite so hidden behind the flowers, I figured that I better put it more in the center. And that is it. They can still see the saying behind there, hey there friend. You're going to add some bling into the middle of your flowers there. Let's just do that. If I run out of bling, I run out of bling. It does not matter. What else am I going to go with? Let's put one of those down there and one of these over here. Oh, I've still got one in the middle there. All right, we will go with the blue one in the middle. There we go. And it looks like I also added a couple of bits on top of here as well. So let's go with those two, I reckon. Seeing as they are my matching ones that I have left on my sheet. Well, I could have used the dark colour too, but there you go. So that was card number 3.